Continuing with Dallas Pimiento Book 2, I'm Bronco 2, starting with a piece called Riding in Comfort. From out of the east came a gigantic touring sedan. It had just entered the map zone and was headed into Tomatoville on Highway 439. An observant farmer who happened to be collecting his mail at the end of his driveway saw the car go by and noted the special license plate on its rear that indicated royalty. He headed back to the farmhouse as fast as he could make it and immediately got on the phone to his son, who worked as a reporter for the Tomatoville Comment. "What else did you see, Dad?" asked Trent Fricker upon hearing his father's story. As his father reiterated the same words he had already spoken, Fricker beckoned across the room to another man, Bobby Yuletide, a photographer. "Okay, Dad, I've got to go. Thanks for calling. I'm going to get busy on this right now." The reporter hung up and hastened Yuletide closer with all 10 fingers. He whispered the news to the photographer. The latter rushed to grab his camera while Fricker pulled on his coat and pushed the last bite of his sandwich into his mouth. "My father saw the car approximately 10 minutes ago," Fricker analyzed as he turned the wheel of his tiny, rusted car. "Out on 439, Yuletide added. "Right." Fricker headed towards the east side of town. "That means he should be entering the city limits in the next minute or so." "He?" Yuletide questioned ominously. "Could be." Fricker raised his eyebrows. "But unannounced? Just because it's a car with royal plates doesn't mean the king himself is inside." Yuletide's right elbow was out the window of the car. His left hand gripped the camera at his chest. "Even if it isn't the king himself, it's still a story. No member of the royal household has visited Tomatoville, much less the map zone, in over 20 years. Yuletide remained silent as Fricker madly tried to intercept the newsworthy auto. "There it is," Fricker shouted. "Are you sure?" Yuletide gripped his camera with both hands. "It's got to be. Look at it." Fricker turned like a crazy man and got behind the car. They followed for nearly 10 minutes until the car pulled into the parking lot of the largest hotel in the city. They were ready when the driver's door opened and a uniformed man emerged. The coming digital singularity of all human consciousness. "Welcome to Tomatoville, Your Highness," the manager of the Apricot, the largest hotel in the city, greeted the royal arrival. "Thank you," said the young man in the plain but exquisitely tailored suit. "This is my assistant, Mr. Tunbridge. He will be handling all of the details of my stay here in your hotel as well as the upcoming conference, so perhaps you had best address yourself to him." The young man turned away to look around the lobby of the hotel. Some distance away, Yuletide watched. "Count Bogartine," Yuletide said softly to Fricker as the latter approached. "I never heard of him." "Tommy back at the office tells me the Count's great aunt is Queen Stephanie," Fricker informed his companion. "So he's not a blood relation of the king?" "Apparently not. I wonder what this conference is about." That evening, Count Bogartine answered that question at a preliminary press conference and cocktail party. "This conference, to which I have invited the key minds of Tomatoville, is about promoting awareness of the greatest threat to civilization, if not the entirety of our species, the coming digital singularity of all human consciousness." Fricker and Yuletide had been invited to the gathering as the official representatives of the Comment. During the press conference portion of the evening, Fricker asked His Highness, "Why has Your Highness chosen Tomatoville to host a conference on such an important topic?" "Because, my good man, this is consciousness raising, not consciousness homogenization," the Count answered, amused at himself, then looked at Fricker with pleasant indulgence. Yuletide tugged at Fricker's pants leg to stop him asking a follow-up question. "He's a crank," he whispered once Fricker had sat down. Another reporter, this one from the Overton Questioner, stood up. "Your Highness, what does your uncle the king think of this conference?" the haggard man, unknown to either Fricker or Yuletide, asked. "I really don't know how to answer that," Count Bogartine looked winded. "Does this conference, then, not have the endorsement of the royal household?" was the follow-up question. Fricker stared open-mouthed in awe at the unknown reporter. "Who is Stan?" "Jagwin, this is Phil Calcior," the police detective said into the phone. "Hello, Phil. What's up?" answered Jagwin breathlessly. "I need your help with something." "Oh, yeah?" "Yeah, it's in connection with the suicide at the cathedral this past weekend." "What's that? At Clamdigger's Cathedral? What other cathedral would there be?" Calcior tried to be smart, but that was a mistake with Jagwin, the keeper of the rough shed, and therefore the keeper of the history of Tomatoville. Well, there's Red Cathedral, Wino Bob's Cathedral, and then there's the so-called Cathedral of the Three Stresses. Jagoan still sounded winded, as if he'd been moving a piano when the phone rang. In fact, he'd been doing nothing more strenuous than drinking a cup of coffee and going through a box of idiosyncratically painted saucers. All right, point taken. I mean a cathedral in the traditional sense, one dedicated to a traditional religion, Calcior grumbled. Phil, the religion of the Docubrights who assemble at Wino Bob's has been around since the days of the Stoner War. That means, I believe you, Calcior interrupted. Jagoan, I need to know who Stan is. Stan. That's right, Stan. Who is Stan? Stan who? I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Jagoan sighed deeply. He drank down the rest of his coffee in one gulp. Okay, he said. Can you meet me at the rough shed in 5 minutes? After responding in the affirmative, Calcior left his desk and headed to his and Jagoan's destination. Jagoan was 10 minutes late. Sorry, Jagoan said as he walked up. I was delayed. He patted his abdomen. Shit on your own time, Jagoan. This is police business, Calcior snapped. The detective followed Jagoan up the stairs and inside the rough shed. Someone has been here, Jagoan said sternly as soon as they entered. How can you tell? Calcior asked. I can smell it. Jagoan's nose held a drop of sweat on its tip. Turned the TV down. Dud Wild wished his co-workers would turn the TV in the commissary down. This was one of the main reasons he usually took his lunches and coffee breaks at his desk in his cubicle. Life has certainly deteriorated since television became ubiquitous, he over-vocalized to the man across the table from him. It's only going to get worse if this Count Bogartine is right. Brent Borden folded the newspaper he had been reading and laid it beside his tray. Computers. Wild let the word dissipate like aftershave. Just another form of TV, Borden concluded. Now, Dud, I'm putting together a task force on the possible religious aspects of these new genetically engineered bean pods. Are you interested in being on the task force? Wild struggled to take it in. Certainly. When do I start? Borden laughed. Take it easy, he said. What are you working on now? I'm still projecting reactions to different colors other than yellow for the packaging of lunch meat. Wild finished his chocolate milk. Oh, you're off that. I can get you off that. Start preparing your staff for your leaving. I plan to have this task force in operation by the end of the month. Well, thank you. Wild felt like crying. I can't tell you how bored I was getting. Don't tell anybody else you said that. It doesn't look good. Both Borden and Wild fell silent after this. Borden was busy finishing his sandwich, Wild and looking around the commissary. Brant, look at this guy over here. Wild pointed to a woolly-headed man standing before a table a few feet away. Watch him. No, it's 1 o'clock right now. Wild tapped his watch. He's on break, not lunch. I know him. I've watched him before. He's got 15 minutes. Now, you'd think he'd sit down and relax, but no. He'll go in and out of the commissary for several minutes, and even after he decides to stay, he'll spend I don't know how much time socializing before he actually sits down. And this bothers you? Borden asked. It offends me, admitted Wild. Stupidity offends me. You don't watch TV at all, do you? Borden said. A white symbol on a field of orange. The banner that flew over Tomatoville's old castle was that of the faraway king, Brisbane XII. Look at it, Tom, the proud symbol of our ancient heritage, Tom's father Finley declared, gesturing upwards at the castle's keep. What is that symbol on the flag, Father? Tom asked. Why, Tom, you should know that. It is the popcorn kernel exploded, the symbol of the House of Turgid, the house of our king. Finley tugged at his cap's brim as he said these words. Is there some significance to the color orange? Tom further inquired. You bet there is, Tom. Finley's eyes twinkled. Orange was at one time thought to be the color of the true king's blood. But now we know it to be blue, right? No, Tom. His blood is red, like everyone else's. Mr. Spock's blood is green. Good for Mr. Spock. Finley looked down at his son's shoes for some reason. Remember that this flag, and the symbolism behind it, is very ancient. People back in those days didn't have access to the accumulation of scientific research that we have today. Mr. Spock is a scientist, Tom smiled. Tom, are you mocking me? Finley turned so that the castle was behind him. In the distance he could see the oldest part of Tomatoville laid out in its idiosyncratic way beneath the hill on which the castle stood. No, Tom shook his head slightly. I hope not, because our ancient heritage is nothing to mock, and when you mock me when I'm trying to explain these matters to you, you're mocking our ancient heritage. Dad, don't you think that as the castle is now a museum and the king is politically powerless and living over 1,000 miles away, we Tomatovillians should focus more on symbols relevant to who we are today? Tom, I don't know what they teach you in that school of yours. Finley turned back to the castle. They stood 100 feet from the entrance, where a hot dog stand awaited their custom. Talks to the issues. I like Mr. Flores. He talks to the issues, Mabel told her neighbor, the saturnine Medric Grat, a man of complex and puzzling feelings. He talks to them, Mabel? He talks to them, Mabel? Grat smiled. You know what I mean, Medric. Mabel and Grat stood on either side of the low hedge that separated their yards. He talks about them. But what candidate does not? Some of them try to flummox you with their personalities or their looks, but Mr. Flores is actually trying to spell out how matters stand in this city. I know what you mean, Mabel. Grat looked away. Across the street he could see the burlap couple erecting a trampoline. I'm just tired of all the politicians. I may not even vote this time. Medric, that's terrible. You must vote. Everyone needs to vote, especially this election. The election Mabel referred to would determine Tomatoville's leadership for the next 5 years. The current mayor, Trammell Softy, was retiring. His successor, along with the majority of the council that the mayor presided over, would be chosen. Mr. Flores was just one of many candidates. One of them, the one who was probably going to win the mayoralty, according to most predictions, was Steve Wells. As Mabel and Medric Grat talked, mentioning him not once, Wells was touring the defunct dog arena in one of the seedier parts of town. This place can be converted, the candidate said. Of course, Mr. Wells, agreed the man showing Wells and his staff about, a leader of the local community. It could be made into a, some sort of youth center, Wells suggested. Indeed, Mr. Wells, it would make a fine youth center. But really, what some of the business owners in the area would like to see is this place fully renovated and converted into a casino. The man said that last word as if he were naming a well-loved celebrity that could be induced to attend one's birthday party. A casino, Wells repeated. That could run into opposition, moral opposition, especially in a neighborhood like this. Such opposition can always be overcome. Such opposition can always be overcome, smiled the man. Leto Cork. It relieves me immensely to get to write a book. Okay. We're going to stop there for the night.